Hi, I'm Lindsay. I learned to roller skate in 30 days, and today I'm going to show you 5 easy drills that you need to do as a beginner roller skater. Before we get started, if you're learning to roller skate with my 30-day Learn to Roller Skate program, today is day 2, and here's your quick warm-up. Our first drill is going to be crossover steps and crossover circles, starting with the crossover circles because they're easier. To do crossover circles, you want to focus on a few things, starting with keeping both of your knees bent and your core tight. Then you're going to move your outside foot over top of your inside foot. After you do this, your body weight will push it back to the outside. So for almost every step of your circle, you're going to be trying to cross that foot over top into the center. When you cross that foot over and push at that angle, it creates momentum and allows you to keep moving in the circle. Try starting with a really big circle first. This will make it easier as your momentum won't be created so fast. Then you can move on to a smaller circle. Also notice that while I'm doing this, I'm leaning in slightly. The faster that I go, the more I lean in. Okay, now let's practice. So to do this, I want you to start out with 3 times on each side, making a very large circle. Then make a medium circle, and then lastly, 3 times making a small circle both ways, just like I did here. Next, we're going to work on our crossover steps. This is the final version, but let me show you how I got here. The best way to start learning crossover steps is to do crossover and then step, step, crossover, step, step. This allows you to catch your balance after that cross step. So while you do the cross step, you're not shifting weight or angling your foot in any specific way. You're just practicing crossing over and then recentering yourself in order to find your balance again. After you can do that, I like this little heel to toe drill while you're crossing over every step. You'll need to get a little running start before you go into this drill, but once you're gliding, start putting one foot in front of the other while maintaining balance. Once you've mastered heel to toe, now you're going to work on crossing over a little bit farther. Here's another angle. As you can see, I'm taking bigger steps and crossing over top of that front foot. Now you're ready to work on the final product. So for this, I'm using my body weight to lean side to side, mostly with my hips, and also I'm angling my foot out even farther. I'm still keeping both knees slightly bent and my core tight. Because of my lean and my foot angle, I'm creating momentum while I'm moving. So there's no need to push off before you are doing this. And for me, while I'm doing this, I feel like I lean slightly more forward, which helps me to be able to put my foot in front of the other one even farther. Now let's practice. To start, we're going to do 3 times on our left and our right foot with those little recovery steps in between. Then you're going to do 3 passes of that glide into touching your heel to your toe. After that, 3 times of bigger crossover steps, not throwing your whole body weight into it yet, just doing the bigger crossover. Then lastly, 3 passes of going for that full crossover and creating your own momentum. My second essential drill for beginners is bubbles. This is so important for being able to learn how to start and stop and go forwards and backwards. We're going to start with bubbles in place. To do this, you're going to start with your feet in a V position. Then you're going to bend those knees and push down into the ground to make a little triangle at the top. Practice this move by going back and forth 20 times. Here's a couple more angles so you can see what's going on. This is the overhead view and the side view of doing a bubble. Now that you have bubbles in place down, let's try them rolling. At first, you can start by gliding into it, but once you figure it out, you can create your own momentum while you do this. This drill uses the same motion that you were doing in the single bubbles, but just not hitting the tips of your toes together. If you did that, you would come to a stopped position. And for this drill, we're going to try and keep moving forward. After you've done that 5 times, now let's go backwards. To do this, you're going to create that same bubble that you were creating earlier, just doing the backwards part, but making sure that your heels don't hit at the end. It helps if you have a really smooth surface. My surface was smooth enough. I remember at first I felt like I had to hop a little bit to put my heels into the right direction so I could keep moving backwards and not stop. But eventually you figure out how to use your inner and outer edges of your wheels to keep you pointing in the right direction. At this angle, you can see that I'm keeping my knees bent and then I'm pointing my feet out and in to create the momentum. Make sure to squeeze your inner and outer thighs to push in and out. Let's practice this one 5 times each, moving forwards and backwards. My third favorite drill for beginner roller skaters is weaving. Like, how cool does this look? I just think it looks so cool. Not to mention, it's also super helpful for learning snake walk and many other things that you're going to want to learn later on. To do this drill, we're going to start by doing one foot at a time. So pick your front foot. I chose my right foot to start with, and you're going to make an S shape with only that foot. The other foot is just going to be gliding behind. When you're doing this with one foot, make sure to get a little bit of momentum before you go into it, because while you can create some momentum, it's not going to be that much. Make sure to practice both sides. Let's say 3 passes successfully on each side, then we're going to move on to doing both feet. To do both feet, you're going to keep both knees bent while you use your inner thighs to pull in and then push out. You'll alternate right foot in front, left foot in front, right foot in front, and then the left foot again. At first, you can go ahead and push off a little bit and glide into it, but soon you'll realize that you can create momentum with each pull in front of the other foot. All right, let's practice. So if you didn't already, 3 times on each side with the one foot in front weaving, then 5 times alternating weave. My fourth favorite drill for beginner roller skaters is manuals. Today we're going to be learning the heel-toe variation. Your front foot is going to be only on the back 2 wheels, and your back foot is only going to be on the front 2 wheels. I have found that the easiest way to learn this is while rolling, you're going to work on just the front foot and then just the back foot, and then you can put it together. So first we're going to work on the front foot. To do this, you want to keep your weight centered over the back foot and have all 4 wheels of the back foot down. Then you're just lifting up the toe of your front foot and continuing to roll. Make sure to squeeze your inner thighs. That is one of the most important parts of this. Strengthening the balance muscles in your thighs gives you control over how you're staying upright. Once you have that down, let's work on the back foot of the manual. For this one, all the weight will be shifted to the front foot, and you're lifting up your back foot just to the top 2 wheels. A really common occurrence when you're trying this is that your toe stop is too low. If this happens and your foot keeps catching on the ground, just twist that toe stop in and it should solve the problem. Once you're able to do both sides, the front and the back, while rolling, let's try balancing in place. So I'm spreading my feet out to one foot in front of the other, not directly in a straight line, but just underneath my hips. Then I'm practicing the move while I lift my front foot onto the heels and my back foot onto the toes. Then alternating and practicing in separate parts, and keep trying until you figure it out how to balance. Once you can do it while balancing, and you can do it each separate foot while rolling, let's put it together. Get a couple good pushes into it so you have momentum. Then you're going to keep your thighs super tight. Keep squeezing in and hit that position. Heels on the front, toes in the back. Then, once you have that, try the other side. To get your heel-toe manual, let's practice by doing just the front foot and then just the back foot. So start rolling forward, keep your weight in the back foot, pop that front foot onto the heel, and then keep rolling. Then do the same, but with the back foot. So keep the weight centered over the front, pop your back foot onto the toe, and then keep rolling. After you've done that, practice in place. Practice by just doing the front foot, then just the back foot, and then trying to do them together, then trying to switch backward and forward, and trying to increase in duration that you hold it for. After you can do all that, you're definitely ready to try your rolling manual. So go ahead and give it a shot. 5 times on the left, 5 times on the right. One side's probably going to be better. I know it is for me, but it's good to practice both sides. My 5th and final essential roller skating skill for beginners is transitions. Transitions are not only important for you to learn from skating forward to backward and backward to forward, but also in learning how to stop. The best way to practice transitions is by learning open the door, close the door. If you watched my other video, I taught you 1/4 transitions. Because once you've done those, you're ready to learn 180-degree transitions. To do 180-degree transitions, you're going to pick a spot ahead of you, look at it, then open the door, which means open your arm and your leg right at the hip. Your feet should also be trying to make as much of a line as possible. Spot an object in front of you, then point your hand to the back straight behind you, and then finish by moving the rest of your body. Work on doing this progressively faster until you can do it confidently and with speed. Here's what it looks like from your point of view. First, you open the door to a spread eagle position, then you close the door, and now you're facing the opposite direction. Once you can do that stationary, let's try it rolling very slowly first. Start by gaining a little bit of momentum before you go into it, because this is not a move that creates momentum, so you have to have it already going into it. Start by rolling with both feet parallel forward. Then you're going to open up to a spread eagle or second position. Then that second foot will follow through and go to parallel to meet with the other foot. When I do this, my keywords are open the door, close the door, because I'm pretending like my body is the hinge and I am opening the door while I open my hand and my knee and point it towards the back, and then I close the door with the other hand and knee, meeting to point in the back to finish in parallel but facing the opposite direction. As you get more confident, your open the door, close the door won't have to be as obvious. Here's a video of me doing it a little more casually. Alright, now it's time to practice. So I want you to try 3 times turning towards the left and 3 times turning towards the right while stationary, doing the open the door, close the door transition. Then 3 times left and 3 times right rolling slowly, and then you can gain a little bit of more momentum and try it a little bit faster. If you're learning how to roller skate in 30 days with my program, today is day 2, so here's your quick ab workout. Also, if you roller skated along with me today, make sure to tag me on Instagram so I can repost your story.